Good evening, Flosstube. My name is Mandy. Welcome to my channel, all about cross stitch. Today we are going to have a WIP parade. I love this season. I love being able to pick up a project and, I tend to, last few years, I've been picking up one project and I focus on that particular project while I'm working on, while watching Flosstubes, specifically WIP parades. So, I decided to start a highlight so that I posted a picture of my start, and after I finish watching a parade, I post a picture showing, the next that progress. Today I watched Michelle Bendy's 3-hour finish parade, which was amazing. I know she released it in 2 parts. I am a member of her Patreon at the level where we get to watch her Flosstube, film Flosstubes. And so it ended up being, she filmed that particular parade on Christmas Eve. I was not available to watch live with her, so I watched the replay today, and I got so much progress. I loved it. So she's got so many great finishes this year, so that was so cool to get to watch. So definitely looking forward to diving in and watching WIP parades this season. I've decided to pick up a project that I had such a very measly start, and so after watching one last night and that 3-hour finish parade today, I got great progress. So that project is to come. So today is Tuesday, December 26th, 2023. I hope everyone that celebrates had a fantastic Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Happy Boxing Day to our fellow, or to Canadians. I was going to say fellow Canadians. I'm not Canadian, so that's not how I wanted to word that. Happy Boxing Day to Canada. Yeah, we got some fantastic stuff to share. So Stitches is wandering around. So I know I saw her tail pass through right here, so hopefully she'll come around and I'll be able to snag her and get her to say hi to everyone. So like I said, today is Tuesday. It's about 9 p.m., almost 9:30. I had a wonderful evening going to dinner and exchanging gifts with my BFF, and so we got home and just been relaxing. I wanted to film this earlier in the day today. I am on vacation. I should have been able to do it today, but I live in an apartment complex and somebody within the building was moving today and the movers were loud. Let's see, that's my closet door. So right beside it, you can't see it in the video, is my main door to come in and out of my unit. And right outside of that is the actual entrance. They were so loud. And I knew that all of that noise would have picked right up on the video, and I didn't want to have that. So then I got to thinking, well, I'll film tomorrow. I'm off. Now my sister's invited me to go hang out with, we're gonna go craft. So, it's, my vacation time is filling up. So, I figured, why not do it tonight? This very well may not get posted till tomorrow. I don't know if I'll take the time to try to get it loaded on YouTube tonight, but, you'll get a chance to watch it when you can. At least I hope. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I hope you enjoy what you see, that you stick around, hit the like, subscribe, all the things. Appreciate you stepping by. If you are a returning viewer and supporter, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so last time I filmed, I could hear something being set at my door. I was, the mail was being delivered and I knew I was expecting some package. There ended up being quite a bit of stuff, other Christmas stuff and whatnot. But I got my gift, or not my gift, but my particular project received for Link is my homeboy, Heather, for her bestest bookish bestie stitchy swap. I think that's what it was. She had gotten it sent out, and she was actually who stitched for me, and so I finally received her package, but literally I stopped recording. I went and checked my mail and the box was sitting right there. So we're going to share what I got today. So she included some fun little floss tags. I've got a hole punch. I'll be able to, I just realized that there's no holes punched. I've got a hole punch. I can be able to make them myself. And she picked up on my newish obsession of the Court of Thorn and Roses series. So I got To the Star, I can't read that backwards. To the Stars Who Listen and the Dreams That Are Answered. Love that quote. Stickers. So we've got the Court of Dreams, the Night Court, and Valaris. So love those stickers. Thank you so much to Heather. I will definitely be adding those to something, floss box or something. Try to stay somewhat organized because I got a lot of stuff to share. She included just for me to be able to make a bookmark. You can tell that it's got scalloped edges, so it's perfect Ada. There is a pattern on the back to be able to make one myself or use it for whatever. And then the stitched piece. Book lover. This is perfect. Love the frame job. Thank you so much to Heather. Really appreciate it. Not sure if she watches my channel or not. But yes, thank you so much, Heather. Beautiful stitching. I am definitely going to find a place to hang this. I've got a little space above my monitors before I've got another cross stitch piece. So I've got a couple of small framed pieces, so maybe I'll hang it up there. So thank you for stitching for me, Heather. And yeah, if you want to join in on our swaps, I am signed up for the ATC swap that is going to be taking place. And she's got another, there was a snarky swap or something that I did not sign up for that particular one, but go follow her channel. Instagram was what I meant to say. And she's started a separate Instagram page for the swaps. Check out Link is My Homeboy. You probably can find her swap account from there. So, all right, let's get into it, shall we? I got stuff stacked all over the place. So I am going to share my projects in a chronological order from when I started them. And then I do actually have things separated out from non-full coverage to full coverage. So I know everyone enjoys stats. Well, not everyone, but many people enjoy stats. So this has been a fun year. I don't normally pay attention to these numbers, but I did write them down this year. So I started the year with 25 full coverage. No. 25 projects, 25 WIPs, just overall. 19 of which were non-full coverage, 6 were full coverage. I am a huge full coverage fanatic. I know there's a Facebook group. I love full coverage. That is where my stitchy heart lies. It wouldn't see it by the numbers, but I absolutely love full coverage stitching, and I've definitely become more obsessed with it this year. I've started more projects, so the fact that I started the year with 6 full coverage doesn't really mean a whole lot. I did finish 1 full coverage piece this year, finished a mini Haid. That was so exciting. But then, started a few more. So now I am finishing with 27 WIPs, 16 of which are non-full coverage, so I went down, but then I upped to 11 full coverages. So I have been debating doing a finished parade. So I do actually have those, at least the ones that I have possession of, pulled. I haven't decided yet if I'm actually going to film that or not. So we'll see. Okay, so let's dive into it, shall we? This could be a little while. Grab a drink of water, beer, pop, whatever you want. Let's dive in. My oldest WIP. This is Bergamo Borders. I started this in 2017. It's still not finished yet. This is from the, let's see, what is it? August 2017, Just Cross Stitch Magazine. That is the cover of it. And it is Bergamo Borders by Banu Dimara of Siba Designs. absolutely love this. I am doing this on a piece of 16 count white Ada and using the called for DMC. Let's see. I don't know where to put things. I have absolutely nothing ironed. It was enough just to get everything organized. But the fun thing is for Christmas, I did receive an ironing mat, like the actual wool, foam, whatever ironing mat. There's a little silicone mat to put the actual iron on. I got a cutting mat and a rotary cutter. So I want to maybe do some fully finished stuff, maybe into what I have as my stitching journal. So that'll probably all be after the new year. So here we go. So in the month of November, I picked this up for a strand a day project, and pretty much every day, on average, just one strand, one length. Other days I decided to add some more. And when I'm talking one length, I'm talking how DMC separates. And so you've got your 6 strands, I'm talking one length. A lot of times I sat on my lunch break and, sat and stitched. So I was able to get this complete bottom border done, so without the swirlies. So below that, I had started on that. I was maybe about halfway across with just the black. I have been doing this basically each band. I would start with the black and then I'd come behind doing either the blue and the red. So I finished all of that black, you know, for the band, and then came back through with the colors. I had some black still on my needle, so I went ahead and started working on the next band. I remember saying in my WIP parade last year that I wanted to see this as a finish in 2023. That obviously is not happening in 2023, so maybe 2024, because this is my oldest WIP and it needs to get done. I know a lot of people do the like divide it up, break things down, you know, do something of that nature. That would definitely be an easy project to do something of that nature. In fact, my next project, I've got that going, but we'll see. That'll be a 2024 project. Alrighty, so speaking of dividing something up, my next project is going to be Halloween Quaker by Leela's Studio. And if you see the red lines on here, this is just a screenshot with me having gone in and drawn those lines. Basically, when I decided I was ready to see this piece to a finish, I had pretty much like this whole portion done. So like that big motif, that one, yeah, I had that motif, the hats, this one with the spiders, and the town, you know, all this over here. And so the remaining portion worked out really great, that not necessarily evenly separated, but definitely broken down into more of a 12-month section. And this should see me get a finish in July of 24. I still have to do December's. Maybe a good idea to do in the next couple of days. It is my hope to actually get it completed in the month of December, which I got a few more days. But here we go. This is stitched on a piece of 16 count Picture This Plus in the color J, J-A-Y. So yeah, got those bats, got the owl, got the candy corn. I finished the owl, I meant to say the witch. When I had picked this up to start it, I still had to, I had the moon, I think I had the moon in progress, so I still had to finish the witch, got her done. I had half of Happy Halloween, so I added that in. Little motifs, pumpkins, had a couple of the birds. So yeah, this is gonna be a big project. I mean, it's definitely going to fill up the whole page with, you know, 3-inch margin with little to spare on the bottom. I love this piece and I cannot wait to see it done. So hopefully by the month of July, still reserving the right to go ham on it at any point. So my next project is Fight Like a Girl from Forbidden Fabric Co. This has been my December strand today, and then I ran into a bit of a little snag. As I was stitching the words, all I have left to do is part of the words. There is a thin, I don't know if that's gonna focus. I got there's little doodads in the corners. There's one more inner border, and then there's a backstitch line between those. So when I picked it up, I had to finish the flames, do the torch. I had the border, the outer border done. So as I'm stitching the words, I'm realizing I'm getting very, very low on floss. And so I was pulling DMC. I bought this as a full kit, so it charted in Forbidden Fabric Co. I just realized that there is a DMC conversion. I never checked that color. I was pulling all kinds of different colors to see if I could find something that would, I wasn't going to rip the words out, but that I could at least finish the words on. Nothing was matching, so I'm like, you know what? We're just going to go on to Forbidden Fabric Co. and buy another skein of it. I did notice that it was going to be a different dye lot, but it came in today, and I stopped working on the project because I still had a few lengths left. And so I got to thinking, well, if I need to use like one strand of the old skein, one strand of the new skein, it would be less noticeable if it was, you know, a big dye lot change. Skein came in today. It's going to be just fine. I twirled them together. You couldn't even see one skein versus the other. So it's going to be just fine. But that put a stall to my strand today. So, but I still want to see about finishing this by the end of the year. So this may become a focus piece here in the next couple of days. But here's my piece. So we have some women lost in, some W built. But it's going to say, I just put the pattern down, some women are lost in the fire, some women are built from it. So I love this piece. I want to see it finished. It's funny that when I was first working on it, I just realized there's a huge knot. That's gonna be just like it. When I was first working on this, I had issues with the border and had to do some frogging and fixing and all of that. I remember posting on Instagram that I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough of that skein. Leanne commented, she saw the post and she actually commented that, you know, you should have plenty, but, you know, if you're going to run low, message me, you know, we'll get you another skein. So I never anticipated that I was going to run out of coal, which is what the words are. And then that's in the border. It's what the torch was in. So they still sell, I don't know if you can get the full kit because this came with a project bag and a different needle minder than what's on here. And the floss pattern fabric. So I don't know if it's all available, but you can still at least get the pattern. You probably can get the material. I don't know about the project bag. You can get the floss pack. What I happen to notice in that floss pack, it now sells with two skeins of coal. So somebody must have realized after the kit was sold that it wasn't going to be enough floss. So it's fine, whatever. I bought the other skein of floss, and so I'll be able to get this finished. I can't imagine it's going to take me all that long. Probably at least a couple of stitching sessions. So tomorrow's Wednesday. I got plans. So maybe Thursday, maybe on Saturday, Monday. I don't know. I definitely want to get this finished up sooner rather than later. So just to share a little bit of haul, because, you know, when you order one skein of floss, that skein can't travel alone, right? So I thought about just going through with the flosses and just randomly picking some other stuff. Well, that didn't really I wasn't in the mood to look through all the different floss. I didn't have anything in mind. So I decided, let me look at what other patterns and such that they offer. So I ended up with a pretty little bag. It's more pink and white. Cross my heart. Love the little zipper pull on the heart that's hanging from there. It does say love. Very pretty. So what this whole package is it's a one of a kind. I honestly do not know if it's a different pattern for each, because it was kind of a surprise thing that I didn't know what the pattern was. So I honestly don't know if it's a different pattern, but I bought the kit not knowing what the pattern was going to be, but I love it, and it's definitely going to be a project I want to start next year. But it says A Stitcher's Life for Me. And so it's got the spool of thread and thimbles and those hearts. It came with a piece of 16 count. Well, I had to, I guess I probably chose 16 count Aida. And it's, there we go. Definitely darker like that than what it first looked like. So it's called One of a Kind. Definitely kind of a creamsicle look. Very, very pretty color. And so I remember the listing mentioning having coordinating flosses that would go with this. So they sell a number of flosses that are just labeled one of a kind. So whether they're like one-off dies, mistaken dies, I don't know exactly what their, how they come about with these, but they have a number of different flosses labeled one of a kind. So this pattern does not have a DMC conversion. It doesn't tell you what flosses to use. It's a pick your own. It even says on the bottom, a pick your own stitching adventure. So it lists these symbols, and then it tells you the stitch count of each of those symbols. So I'll be able to pick out how I want to have these colors. So we've got a blue, got a brown, gray, kind of like a, what would that be, like a darker than 415, 318, 317, something like that maybe. Gunmetal, I guess. We've got a beige. This one's a pretty variegated. It's blue and white, kind of a gray. Not white, but because like that portion's got a little bit of brown in it. This one is definitely strongly variegated, some greens and browns. That one's really cool. And then we've got like a sage green. So that's going to be fun. I was looking at the pattern earlier, didn't make any sort of decisions as far as what color is going to go where, but this is the correct number of skeins needed for what that calls for. So I'll just pick out what I want where. You know, what color floss do I want to have on the spool? Kind of, you know, all that good stuff. So the words, so A, life for me, are charted in one color, and Stitchers is charted in another color. So, so yeah, that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. So, a little bit of haul thrown in there. Back to the WIPs. I have a lot of the cover pictures of my projects, just like the screenshots from the listings and different things, so we're just gonna have to scroll through on my iPad to find them. So next one is You're Okay. This is a bendy stitchy design. I'm pretty sure she gifted this chart on a stitchy chat of some sort ages ago. She probably doesn't even remember when it happened. I was about to hold that up upside down. So I started this in 2021. So Halloween Quaker, Fight Like a Girl, and You're Okay are all projects from 2021. If you see me looking down, I've got a notepad down here with different notes. So here we go. So this is stitched on a piece of Color and Cotton, a grab bag of Ada. So funny story. When I first started stitching this, I must have thought that this was stitched on like an 18 count. So I went with 1 strand. Just recently, and you know, within, I don't even remember, because I don't think I've actually touched this at all this year. But I do remember, so probably the last time I worked on this, maybe last year, I remember finally pulling a, pulling a ruler out and to measure what size fabric we're talking about here. It's my regular 16 count and it's 1 strand. So that bird looks pretty pale. But I'm still gonna finish it at some point. Not sure when. That look on my face was probably going to be what my screen grab is. I love the snarkiness of with the traditional style. I think, what did she refer to it as? Like fractor style with the snarkiness. So I definitely want to finish this. I just find it really funny that I'm stitching on 16 count with 1 strand. No clue why even. I'm not using called for, but I am using my interpretation of called for. So basically when I started working on this, I had a whole bunch of Color and Cotton, classic colors, random dyed, whatever, you know, over dyed. So not DMC. And I just went through the cover and said, okay, so I need a blue, I need a red, I need a couple different yellows, need a green, and just went through my floss boxes and pulled out random colors that went along with this scheme. So it's gonna look pretty different, I'm sure, especially 1 strand. But yeah. Seems like I was gonna say something, I don't remember what. Sorry. Yeah, so I would really like to get this one finished in 2024. It's small. There's no reason why this one is lingering for so long. But it's really not a high priority, I guess. All right, moving on to, this was my new year, new start for 2022. I'm pretty sure I started this actually like midnight. I remember hanging out. Northern Expressions Needleworks. This is the rainbow, Twisted Rainbow sampler. So this is released in standard cross stitch and specialty version, specialty stitches. I am doing the standard cross stitch version. I don't think some of those specialty stitches would work too well on Ada. Plus, I appreciate just good old standard cross stitching. I still have a needle on here, so it's out of scroll frame, so we're gonna. I haven't worked on this in a while. I remember working on it back in the summertime. This is stitched on a piece of 16 count. I think it's just Weigert in like Midnight Gray. I think it was charted on black. I didn't want to do just straight out black, so I really like the color of this gray. I am further, like I do have the whole top done. I've got some colors finished up in here, like I've zeroed them out, and but I'm not going to scroll all the way back. So this particular, because I am doing the standard cross stitch version, this fits into cross stitch, the PDF goes into Pattern Keeper perfectly. Absolutely love using Pattern Keeper for this. I remember when I was first starting, so I was up, you know, way up high. I want to say it's like 6-page pattern, so it crosses 6 pages. You know, you think of some of these bigger bands crossing 4 different pages. And so I tried making a working copy, just pieces of paper. I ended up taking pictures so that I could like use my iPad for digitally. It got annoying, so one day I broke down. I went to Northern Expressions Etsy store, found that they had it on PDF. It went into Pattern Keeper perfectly. No issues whatsoever. So I was able to easily catch up with, you know, crossing off the stitches that I had completed. And I have no clue what percentage I was at. I do have percentage numbers for my full coverage pieces. Never even looked at this, but I do know that I have a number of colors up here in this corner that have been zeroed out, like the orange, maybe into the yellow. So I still have the greens, and then it'll get into blues and magentas down below. So that is my Northern Expressions Needleworks Twisted Rainbow Sampler, and I love this piece. I should probably try to focus on this next year. This is going to be a long one, I think, because we are only 5 projects in out of, what did I say, 27? So, Christmas present, my sister's mother-in-law gave me, I first opened a little package that had one of those, I don't know if it's like ceramic, the car coasters, so you put them in the cup holder to sop up, you know, condensation from cups that you put in there. And so I open it up, and it's just a generic, you know, black cat. Any kind of black cats I see on merchandise and such, it's, you know, it's Stitches. Anybody who is new here, I have a black cat. Her name is Stitches. She's currently taking a bath sitting on the couch. So I commented on this coaster, it's Stitches. How cool is that? Open up the next box. It's a coffee mug, insulated mug. It's literally Stitches. That's my cat. Marty went onto my Facebook page and borrowed a picture that I had posted of Stitches. And so yeah, I've got a mug with Stitches on it. And so there's some writing on it. And it says, Stitches, come out, wherever you are. It says Mandy. So I've got a personalized mug with literal Stitches. I love it. She's such a good partner. Little sidekick. Alrighty, moving on. If you watch me regularly, I would have recently just shared this. This start was in, so we're into 2022. I want to say I started this in sometime in May. I don't know, it's a 2022 start. Beautiful Things by Lindy Stitches. Oh my darling, it's true. Beautiful things have dents and scratches too. So I can't have started this in April of last year, May of last year, because when I picked this up just a few weeks ago, it dawned on me I hadn't worked on it in a long time. And so I found the last time I worked on it, picture posted in Instagram, and I want to say it was April of last year. I had just the words done. No border, no fence. The last time I worked on it, I finished the words, put it down, and that's the last time it saw any light of day. Until just a few weeks ago. And here we go. So I've got the words and I've got the fence. This is stitched on a piece of 16 count Bestitch Me in Scroll. I do want to say that it was a fabric of the month. Whatever month it was that I got it, I don't remember. I think the tag says. So I don't know if this is available on, you know, regularly purchasable or not, but it is called Scroll, like old time scroll. So coming in close, you can see the fence. I am using the called for Classic Colorworks and DMC. All I've used so far is the Classic Colorworks, but I love this fence. It just came unfolded because using the called for, I don't remember what that particular strand is. You can definitely see it like right there. You can see there's a little stripey. I am doing individual stitches just to get the variegated effect, and it definitely looks like an old rusted fence. There you go. There's a good picture of what that fence is looking like. So I did set this down again, but at least we got a good start on that fence. I'm maybe about halfway through. There's a lot of fencing there. So I love this design. Love this whole piece. The statement rings so true to me. In May of 21, I had to have a surgery that turned into a bigger ordeal than it should have, I guess, than I wanted it to. And it led me into needing a second surgery. So when they do, I was gonna say robotic, but is that the right term? Laparoscopic, they just leave, you know, incisions. So having two laparoscopic surgeries, I'm left with quite a few little scars across the tummy. And so yeah, it just, that whole statement rings true of, not that I'm saying I'm beautiful by any means, a beautiful soul. You know, it rings pretty true, or you know, hit pretty close to home, I guess. A little more dents and scratches than I used to have. So moving on. I don't think this next piece has seen any light of day in 2023, but it's a Buttons and Beads Mill Hill sand dollar. Eventually I'd like to get this done and give it to my mom. She loves sand dollars. And this is as far as I am. I'm not a fan of working on perforated paper. I'm really not. So I have a number of other kits. I've got a couple of owls. Well, I've got an owl. I don't know what else I have. Nothing that's shown here. So I don't know that if I ever pick those up, will I work them on perforated paper. I may just switch them over to actual fabric, but that's where we are. Like I said, I really don't think that this has been touched at all in 2023. I am showing all of my projects. I know when I did my WIP parade in the summer, kind of mid-year WIP parade, I only had shared everything that I had touched up until that point. So today I decided to pull everything. Next project, this was again 2022. I want to say it was kind of a spring start. It is called Spring Birds. Country Cottage, did I say that? Country Cottage Needleworks. Beautiful colors. Again, this was another one where I went through my stash of overdyed flosses and just basically pulled, you know, I need an orange, I need a pink, I need a green. I am pretty sure that there's like 2 different blues, but I pulled, I know it's called Delft? Is that a color in cotton maybe? It's kind of variegated, and yeah, I've used it. So I'm pretty sure I remember there being like 2 symbols for blue. I just pulled one variegated that I'll use for any time there's a blue. This is stitched on another piece of color and cotton grab bag. No clue color name or anything like that. So I've got 3 birdhouses in the start of 1 bird. Just a little underbody. Needle is still on the thread. Thread is still on the needle. One of those ways. I remember taking this on a vacation to North Carolina with me back in May. So it did get a little bit of love this year. This is another piece that I'd like to see finished in 2024, but not necessarily high priority. Pretty sure this was a 16 count. I'm using 2 strands. I can tell that much. I'm pretty sure it's a 16 count, but I have no clue what color name it is or anything. And my next piece, this actually got some love just Christmas Eve. I gotta find it. I used to have a bookmark in here, but it fell out. This is from the Cross Stitch for the Soul, Emma Congdon. It is from this book. I got this a couple of years ago for Christmas. And when I make notes in like my planner or, you know, however I'm working on it, I just call it When It Rains. But it says, when it rains, look for rainbows. When it's dark, look for stars. I love this piece. So love this piece. I started it sometime in 2022. It was kind of on a whim. I remember running up to the print shop up the road to get a working copy made of this because it was not going to be something that I could work from this book. This is stitched on a piece of coloring cotton in the color Ozark. And there we go. So when I picked it up the other day, I finished the cloud and then got the corner, and then I started down into this portion here. So when I had worked on it previously earlier this year, I really had gotten a big start on that moon. That's a cloud, Mandy. Goodness. Did I mention how late it is? Not late, but it's after 10 p.m. This is gonna be a fun one. That's a big cloud. So I had worked on the cloud, got all those raindrops. So just, again, when I worked on it, I did the little swirly. It's done in back stitch, so little swirly doodad. So again, with this being coloring cotton, I was in a coloring cotton fabric of the month, gosh, 2020. So again, I have no clue if this is a regular color or not, but I love it. It's a very soft green. I think the colors are going to look really good on that. Again, I really want to see this finished in 2024. So far, the extent that I have thought of what I want to work on for 2024 is which project I want to focus on to finish. Full coverage. So Full Coverage Fanatics has a challenge of, you know, focus on a finish. And I did that for this year. I started at the beginning of the year, the project that I decided to focus on and finish, it was, I want to say it was at like 40-something%. I finished it in April. I never would have thought that I would have flown through getting that piece finished as fast as I did. I got obsessed with that piece. Obsessed. So the project that I have in mind is about the same percentage. So we're going to see how quickly I can get that one finished. Moving on. This was my new year, new start for this year. So this was a 2023 start. So Happiness, well, Bluebirds of Happiness, Cottage Garden Samplings, the Songbird series number 5. Love those birds. Have I touched it very much this year? Absolutely not. It's gonna be on a really bold pink though. It's even bolder than what it's coming through. That light is washing it out quite a bit though. Yeah, it's not picking up how bright that material is. This is stitched on a piece of 18 count Bestitch Me in the color Punch. I remember getting this in a, I want to say it was the beach theme box a couple of years ago. The piece of material that I had in it, that I purchased, well, I think it might have been gifted. Yeah, pretty sure I was gifted for this project. I was going to have 1/2 inch border. I'm not usually too concerned about having, you know, how much borders I have, but I wasn't going to play that game. So I went through my stash. I wanted something relatively, you know, look of the project. And so I found this in my stash. So we've got a flower. So this is a center start. So because of, you know, layout wise, this is the center. So then I started working left. So I've got those 2 flowers are done. Started on the house and the flower. Next flower. This is not seeing much light of day at all this year. So I love this design. Like, I love that entire series. I think I just got focused on full coverage, and so that was pretty much the extent of working on anything else this year. Next project. I started this for the Stitch for Sage hashtag Night Spirit Studio. After Sage had released that she was going through a cancer battle. I haven't seen any updates on them in a while, so I really hope they're doing well. I jumped on the hashtag of Stitch for Sage. I don't think I had any projects of theirs on the go yet, so I wanted to, you know, give them some support. So I started Gothic Luna Moth. It's only got like 3 colors, I think, a black and 2 grays. We have a chain. This is 1 day's worth of stitching. I never even picked it up again after 1 day. I want to say it's an 18 count. This Stitch Me Granite. And yes, so big piece. I'll definitely be able to fit a couple of other projects on here. So literally all I've got on there is that upper chain, and that was 1 day of stitching. Very, very measly start. So no clue if I'll try to get it done next year. It's really not that big, so I don't know why it couldn't be a finish if I actually sat down and focused on it a little bit. Let's see. And the next project, this was a start this spring at some points. I don't remember the date. I didn't note down. This is Lady Halloween, Jardin Privé. I absolutely fell in love with this design watching Laura Stitching by the Shore working on it. Her finish is absolutely stunning. I love how she gave her witch purple hair. She put in like colors for the bubbles. Her potion bottles are colors. It is so good. I love her finish. Mine is stitched on a piece of 16 count Bestitch Me in Rainy Day. And I have no clue how big of a piece, how much I'll need of this, but I love this material. This is at least a few stitching sessions. I'll fold it up to show where I'm at. So there we are. So I don't know how well it's going to pick up, but the flowers are in purple. That flower every other, I don't know how well that's picking up, is in purple. So I added in DMC 154, so it's a really, really deep purple. Again, it's almost looking just solid black on there. And I'm not doing a 1-for-1 in terms of each symbol, because this is charted for 3 colors, but it gives how to convert things. There's certain things that, you know, how it was charted to how to do it just monochromatically if you wanted. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do any of the gray, because it does call for a black and 2 grays. So I don't know if I'm going to do any gray at this point, but I fell in love with the color 154 recently. I don't even remember if I was working on a particular project, but I love that very, very deep purple. And so while I was working on this, I decided I wanted to pop some in. And so again, because of symbol wise, it's not, you know, this symbol is going to be 154 everywhere it shows up, because the way I did this like pinwheel flower has got some symbols that are actually the black, whereas like compared to the symbol that's used for this is a purple. So it is truly not a 1-for-1, because like where this flower shows up further down, it might be opposite. So literally just throwing in some pops of color. I think I'm pretty much calling for any of the flowers that show up to be in purple. And that's as far as I've thought. So beyond that, I'm adding in some 154 somewhere. So. I know it's not picking up on the camera too well, but in person I can see where the pops of purple are at. And I like that it's not a stark difference. I wasn't going for wanting those flowers to stand out compared to the black. It was just, I wanted to find ways to get that 154 added in there. And I thought so far it's looking good. So again, 16 count rainy day, and I love this piece. No clue if that'll be a 2024 finish. I'm gonna have to focus on it first. There's a lot of stitching on that. I watched Laura stitch on that for quite some time, and it took her a while. Alrighty. I'm pretty sure I started... This next one is by the Witchy Stitcher. I think she also posted about having a cancer battle. So I think I hopped on the board on this one too. Anyways, this one is Apothecary Shop. Mine is going to look absolutely nothing like that because I am doing it on a piece of material that's going to give it a different look. Trying to figure out which way is up. I think it's right here. So I got the entire outer border completely done. This is stitched on a piece of 16 count, but Stitch Me in It's a Mystery. That's the color of the material. It's a Mystery. I want to say it was a, well, I know it was definitely a fabric of the month. I want to say like October or something. Pretty sure my border is off in terms of, I want to say it's narrow by 1 stitch. Like I got off somewhere, and so I think it's in by 1 more stitch, but I think I figured out that if I start in the left-hand side to do the inner portion, it's going to be just fine. So we will make it work. It was not enough big deal to do any kind of frogging, but that is my Apothecary Shop. So earlier this year, I finished one project out of this series, so I was ready to start another one. We're talking about A Year in the Woods, number 9, Woodpecker. Love this series. Love that entire series so much. So I finished the Eagle earlier this year, and so then I picked up the next one. So this is stitched on a piece of 16 count, but Stitch Me in Dusty Cottage. I believe I wrote down. Yes. So on Bestitch Me, I'm pretty sure you can still get it. So here's the thing. On Cottage Garden, they list the 4 materials needed to stitch this whole series seasonally. So 3 winter, spring, summer, fall. I don't remember what the called for materials are for that. Bestitch Me has a fabric bundle, their version of those. So it's not necessarily a 1-for-1 exact version. There was one shade that's not quite what the called for is, but it's gonna work great. Hi, Stitches. She's about to fall asleep. I was hoping I could get her to come over here to say hi and Happy New Year. She looks pretty comfy. So this is my piddly start here. I want to say this was like 2, maybe 3 stitching sessions. It was literally on a whim. I'd had most of the flosses pulled for a little bit, and all of a sudden just one day I was like, I'm ready to start that. So we just have a little bit of the woodpecker. So an eye and the beak will come out here, and then his head is gonna go there. So the portion that's coming down is gonna be the neck. So that portion is gonna be like the neck going down into the shoulder, I guess. Do birds have shoulders? Down to the wing. So that is my Year in the Woods woodpecker. I have that entire series. I want to stitch them all, but now Cottage Garden released the houses, like the Santa's house and the castle. Have we seen the castle? They're looking amazing. Alrighty, moving on, a couple more non-full coverage to go. So this is the piece that I picked up recently for my WIP Parade's progress. I originally picked this up for Laura Stitching by the Shore pumpkin birthday sale at Pumpkin Bee Day sale. Anyways, for the month of October, to celebrate her birthday, she said stitch on anything with a pumpkin. We got a giant pumpkin. So this is called Fall Black Cat. Artist is Stitch in Needs. Designed by Tin Millar Wynn. Never heard of them. I've never even heard of this design company. I was at the former Stitches and Things. Gosh, I don't even remember now when I bought this. I just remember flipping through a box that the way Deb had sorted her patterns were by subject matter. So I was flipping through a box that had all kinds of cats. And so I saw, again, it's Stitches. It's a black cat. So when I started this back in October, 1 day worth of stitching. I started with the hat. I had like 10 rows worth of the hat, you know, just right over here. Not even very far. Again, I picked this up last night I was watching Carolyn Seasook Stitch. Love her channel, by the way. Go watch her if you're not already. So I watched her WIP Parade last night. And then this morning, I watched Michelle Bendy's finished parade, and that hat is nearly done. I just have a couple of little pumpkins or flowers or whatever those are left to stitch. Still need to add in a little bit there, and those. So we made great progress today. This is stitched on a piece of 16 count Picture This Plus in Regency. You can see another project is peeking out there. I UFO'd my temperature chart from 2022 and just never did anything with the fabric. This portion is going to be perfectly fit for me to add this here, and then I'll cut off and discard that whenever it's done. So, love that needle minder. I haven't really been showing any of those, but that is from Gina's Unique Needle Minders. So this is going to be a good project to sit and get lots of progress, I hope. That's why it's still on a Q-snap. So the next piece, I really don't have a cover photo for it. I did originally have the first portion of the mock-up, and I totally forgot to get a screenshot of that. So more to come. If you've watched me before, I know I showed this piece, so you would have seen it then. Forbidden Fiber Co. Apparently I don't have enough of their projects, so I had to start another one. I love Leanne's projects. We've got a frame. If you know the needle minder, then you would know the theme of the project. Gilmore Girls. So the project is called Gilmoreisms. So there's going to be 13. It's going to be a little bit of a mystery Sal stitch along. And so this is stitched on a piece of 16 count dyed by Forbidden Fiber Co. called Casablanca. I did not grab the threads. I do have the full kit of their overdyed flosses. And so we got all of the frames already. I got one frame in, and then starting on January 1st, there's going to be a, each week there will be a drop of some kind of a quote saying something representing the show. And so there's going to be 13. It was my hope to get all of the frames done. This is going to be the first where the this is the frame for the first drop. So, hey, we're ready to go as soon as that drops next Monday. Who knows if I'll actually be able to keep up on it. It will be my attempt, but, you know, I get obsessed with a project and everything else goes by the wayside. Flipping the page in my notes, we are done with the non-full coverage project, so we're going to get into the full coverage designs. So this is my oldest Heaven and Earth design. This was started in May of 2020. I remember starting this pretty much on a whim. We all know what we were doing in spring of 2020. I'm pretty sure this was one of those, I saw the design, I had to have it, and I had to stitch it. So, we are talking about Mini Dark Goddess. Artwork is by the late Carol Cavallaris, again, charted by Heaven and Earth. And this is the project that I have selected for my focus on a finish. It's my oldest one, not quite my furthest along. This one is currently at 41.13% complete. I'll show you the project here in a second. So it's not my furthest along. My next project, which is my next oldest, that one's at 42%. So the two were vying for, do I go with the furthest along? Do the oldest? And so I think so far I've decided to go on this one. I cannot wait to get down into these colors down here because I've not used anything like this so far. It's been lots of purples, huge patch of white right there. So it's going to be really cool to get down into some of these pictures here, or colors. It's, Jessie Marie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff, had posted, especially she just posted a video the other day, talking about her plans for 2024, and she's got a goal of 24 page finishes in 2024. I'm liking the idea of stepping on board with her. I'll be cheering along as I'm working on my own. For 2023, I don't see me getting another one necessarily, especially when I want to get back to Fight Like a Girl. I've got like 13 page finishes for the year, so 24 is going to be a bit of a stretch. But hey, Jessie mentioned in her last video that even partial pages are counting towards a page finish, and I've got plenty of those. So let's bring on those page finishes in 2024. Here we go. So this is at, like I said, it's at 41.13%. I want to say that like it's got a partial page here, but then it's, last time I worked on this, I want to say I finished a page. No, that's definitely a partial page working. I don't know. I don't remember how many pages are left on this. But hey, I'm excited to see this one done. I'm excited to, by the way, all of my full coverage pieces are on 16 count, white Aida, 2 strands, full cross. So I'm not going to say that every single time. I have not ventured away from 16 count for my full coverage, and I love it. So I'm perfectly happy with. So I'm thinking that if I get over here, that's probably going to push me to the 50-ish%, you know, taking into account the fact that I've dropped down below that. So that might be. So I'm thinking that's going to be my focus on a finish. And I'm excited to see. I don't know that I'll necessarily get into, you know, finishing it by April like I did. If you were with me last year, Amy Stewart's Mini Stitching Moon, I want to say that I started that whole piece at like 40 something complete, and then I never touched that piece in the whole year of 2022. And so I finally picked it up again right at the beginning of the year. And while I did work on other stuff, I became so obsessed with that piece. I finished it in April. It was early to mid-April. I just remember it was sometime in the month of April. Drink your water. And so who knows if I'll do that again this year, but I definitely know that I got completely obsessed with that project. And so knowing that, you know, I've kind of got a goal of wanting to finish this one, it might happen again. Next project. This is Mini Midnight Messenger artwork by Ann Stokes. I love Ann Stokes. Absolutely love her artwork. She does dragons like you wouldn't believe. And so, yeah. This one, like I said, is at about 42%. I noted down that it was 42.52%. I started this one in April of 2021. So my second oldest. Like I said, I did not iron anything, and my full coverage pieces are starting to share project bags. Not starting to, they have been for quite some time. They're sharing projects bags, so I'm folding things up and throwing them in bags. So this is where we are at for this one. What's my needle miner? Oh yeah, Johnny Depp. Captain Jack. I gotta remember what it was. So, we've got, I know the last time I was working on this, I really focused on this owl's wing. Yes, I finished a page, made a big start on the next page, and then switched projects. I remember stitching this a couple different times. It just completely blew me away. Stitching, seeing that moon come in with the depth of the woods. You know, you've got a tree right here, but then you can see back into the woods that way. I remember working on her face. If you need a reminder that full coverage does not have an effect until you take a step back, here's your reminder. If you're struggling working on a project that you just think that, you know, charting looks weird, colors stand out really weird, set it down, step back 6 feet, and take another look. Even just through my viewfinder, not viewfinder, but looking at my phone, just the depth of some of these things looks amazing. I remember working on her face. Her face is quite pink. But it was when I held it up like this to show in a video, the detail that is showing up, the fact that it doesn't look so pink, it just looks amazing. So, even the feathers, it just almost looks like you can reach out and run your fingers through those feathers. Maybe not so much in this angle, this light, but I've noticed the last couple of times, like when I finish that page finish, you can just really see some depth in those wings. So I can't wait to get that owl's face in, because that owl looks so cool. Again, when you're stitching right in front of it and it's 2 feet from your face, it doesn't look all that, you know, almost looks like, where's the beak? Like, why doesn't it have a mouth? But it looks amazing. So, this will be another project that will be great to get some focus on, but not necessarily my priority, for at least to start 2024. All right, my next project was a start in January of 2022. I blame this on Leanne Small Town Stitches. I'm sure she appreciates the enabling. I remember stopping her. I was watching one of her videos and I stopped it, went over to Hayed website, and I wanted to look at Donna Gelsinger's artwork. Leanne loves Donna Gelsinger, I think. I think it's safe to say, because I know she's got a number of projects by that particular artist on the go. Did Donna Gelsinger do Hometown Hero? Firefighter? I don't remember. So I paused the video, went to go look at Donna Gelsinger's artwork, decided I had to stitch this one, immediately found the fabric, had most of the floss, and started it. We are looking at Mini Serenity Lane. I love the, like, almost looks like Thomas Kincaid style artwork, just that, I don't know, there's just something to the artwork that is appealing, and I love Donna Gelsinger too, so. So this one is going to be a little bit longer and narrow. Did I say this was a mini version? This one is currently at 13.96%. This one's slow going. I can definitely say that much. This is page 1. I do know that much. And then some, because like, I stitched down with Pattern Keeper, and you can definitely see how I have stitches there. I've said this before, I pick a color and I stitch as far as I can go. If I've got it in my Q snap and I'm, got a big patch over here. I'm not going to drag it all the way over. I'm not going to count that far. But if it's in my Q-snap and it's within easy reach, I'm going to work on it. This page has been full of confetti, whether it's the blend of that sky, the flowers in this bush, you know, the flowers here. This page was full of confetti. So this one took me a long time. I want to say I got the page finished earlier this year. But it's really pretty. You can it definitely looks like there's a bell in that tower. So that's really cool. This is probably, I'm pretty sure that this is my smallest full coverage piece. Like when I say full coverage, I'm, you know, specifically Hades. I've got one Pain-Free Craft. I've got a Stitch is So Beautiful. I've got another random company, I don't remember. So it's my smallest, but definitely doesn't have a whole lot done on it. But that's my Serenity Lane. And speaking of Pain-Free Craft, I don't remember who it was that I was watching, or somebody mentioned Pain-Free Craft, and I decided to go check out the website, and this was one of those. Saw it, gotta have it, started stitching it. This is Dragonfly Clack, artwork by Marine Loop. And I am just way up in this upper corner. I'm pretty sure I got one page finished and started on another. I know the last time I was working on this, I should have just kept pushing to get to another page finish, but I didn't. Talk about confetti. This is going to be my largest. There's the bottom. This is my biggest. This one has over 130,000 stitches in it. And it's another slow going one. That background, while it's going to be amazing, it's also very slow going. So I got that one leaf done, and starting into the flower is going to be right here. So this is one page over here, and then I got maybe halfway through the next page and just confetti. I love the looks of confetti. This is going to be amazing, and you're going to see another project that background style confetti is slow going. But again, because of the magic of Pattern Keeper, this leaf is across 4 different pages of the pattern. So yeah, I'm definitely way below. Yeah, I want to say this is probably smaller than Heaven and Earth page. And so I just remember this leaf being across multiple pages, and because of Pattern Keeper, I was able to just stitch and go. So that is my Dragonfly Clock, my largest one, and I started that sometime in March of 2022. And that one is at 5.27%. So my largest, okay, that's not my least amount done by any means. My next piece. Again, shout out to Leanne from Small Town Stitches, because I know she's got this one on the go. Mini Sea Opal, artwork by Elizabeth Welker. I'm stitching this for my mom. She knows about it. She picked it out. My sister had adopted one of her, our mom's former works in progress. Fun fact, my sister finished it and gave it back to her for Christmas. And so I told my mom that, you know, I'm more than happy to pick up another one of your projects that my mom has pretty much done with stitching, I think. She doesn't really seem to want to do it anymore, which is fine. So I offered to, you know, pick up another one of her projects that she started, stitch it for her, and, you know, she'll get it back. And then I showed her this one. If you've ever seen the movie Steel Magnolias, in fact, I just told this to my mom yesterday, her colors are not blush and bashful. It's teals and blues. This is my mom's signature colors right here. She's absolutely obsessed with these kind of colors. And so I showed her this when the mini version came out, and she's like, yes, that one. So I know I've got one page done. It's a mini version. The regular size one is massive. So I got the mini version. I'm pretty sure I'm 2 pages into this, and I am at 16.01%. Leanne, if you're watching, because I know I'm further along than you are, and you were worried about the way some colors were coming in, and I forget now where you mentioned, I want to say this portion right here. In a video previously, Leanne mentioned being concerned about this one patch of color and if she like mixed up a shade or, you know, something was wrong. I remember commenting on the video that mine looks just as hers does. So Leanne, here's mine if you're watching. I would say trust the pattern. Yours is looking just the same as mine. So I love this piece. I'm thinking at this point, because this was another one that I was debating doing focus on finish so that my mom can have the piece and she can be able to enjoy it. This may be like back up, like focus on Dark Goddess and then come into this one. I mean, it's only at 16%, so it's got a ways to go. So I don't know that 2024 would be it, but if I can also make a big push for this one and maybe shoot for a 2025 finish, I know she would absolutely appreciate have this hanging in her home. So this is why I do full coverage. This right here, the fact that all this detail, just this right in here, it's stunning. And this is why I do full coverage. I understand the appeal to some people for samplers or all the smalls, and you know, that's the amazing thing about this craft, is that there is something out there for every style. Find something, you're gonna like it. For me, my stitching heart lies in full coverage. Alrighty, so this one was a start in celebration of Stitches Gotcha Day. So I started this one this year, right? We're into, yes. All the rest of these, the remaining ones that I have to share are 2023 starts. This is where the desire to have all the projects started. This is Mini Brush with Magic, artwork by Lisa Parker. So if you know my cat, it looks just like her. And so I decided to stitch this as a celebration of the day that I adopted Stitches. So I am just up here in this upper corner. I really haven't worked on this a whole lot at all. You can, if I come in closer, you can see that there's like a door, or maybe that's the window, so maybe it's the window frame. I'm just really way up in here. This would have been a fantastic piece to do extreme cross country. It's gonna be a pretty big piece, I think. Even though this is the mini version, right? Yeah. My material is pretty big, so I guess it's, even though it's a mini, it's still gonna be. It looks like blue and black, and that's about all that it is. If you can see, where's that? I don't know if it's picking up in the camera, but right in here is a little bit of lighter patch. So this is going to be that edge of that window frame. And so then you've got the trees starting out of the window. So this is nowhere near the bottom of page 1. I know I've crossed into page 2, but I'm not at the bottom of page 1 yet. So, long way to go on this one. This one is only at 3.16%. So we got a long way to go with Brush with Magic. This next piece is my obsession. I cannot put this piece down. So I keep talking about 2024 and that my focus on a finish I'll probably become obsessed with that. But that's going to entail me putting this project down. So hopefully we don't change our minds, because I really want to see Dark Goddess done. But at the rate that I'm going, I don't want to change my mind. Mini Which Way, artwork by Molly Harrison. This one is, I started this in May, and we're at 27.03% as of last night. When I made my notes, this was a last night percentage. I worked on it some today, so, you know, 27, give or take, you know, 27 point something percent probably. I have finished pages 1 and 2, working together on page 3 and 4, because page 4 is only like 12 stitches wide, if that. It's still on the Q-snap because it's a current project. Oh, stunning. I just cannot put this project down. So I've got 2 of the 4 corners in. So I think the last time you saw it, I mean, I mean, I want to say I was somewhere working on this page. So again, this is page 3 and 4, with 4th page being pretty narrow. So I'm just working them easily together, back and forth. So you can see the moon starts to like fade out a little bit. There's a cloud, I think, that comes across here, so you can still see the cloud or the moon a little bit, but it definitely gets pretty light. So there's a moon. So I'm really just working. It's confetti. I mean, there's definitely been a lot of color changes, but it's coming along so good, and I love it. So it's almost 11 o'clock. All right, so my next piece, this is the one that I just referenced a few minutes ago about the background confetti and going slow. I was just working on this recently because it has not seen the light of day hardly at all. I started this the week of my birthday, so I'm calling it my birthday start for this year. It was started a few days before my actual birthday. I am going to give a warning that if you've got young children watching that you may not want them to see, you may want to have them look away a little, just for a minute while I show the original artwork. I'm nowhere near this for the actual piece. I'm in the very background. Putting it out there in case you don't want young children to see. There's no nudity, but I mean, it's a naked body. This is called Companions, artwork by Bridget Ashwood, chartered by Heaven and Earth. So when you see the piece, I am up in this very corner right here. I'm not even to that circle yet. So I'll put this down here in a second. So this was my birthday start. Okay, that's down. It won't be shown again. Again, putting that up there. If you want your children not to see it. This was to the point at one point that I thought that I was going to need to put something somewhere to indicate which portion was the top, because it's blending in so much that I wasn't sure which way was which. So this one is only at 1.86%. And it's a blob of purple. Grays. I'm working on page 1. I don't think I'm even touching page 2 yet. This is, again, because you can see there's still a lot unstitched in there. I grabbed a color. I stitched what I could. Grabbed another color, stitched what I could. And I was pretty much just sticking to where, filling in. I wasn't going too far off of what I had. So I'm trying to work on getting that filled in. I can still see a couple ninja stitches up in here that aren't done. Yep. So being at 1%, I've got a long way to go. Hopefully the next time I pick it up, I can push through some of that confetti, because I want to get into some good stuff, but it's going to take me a while if all I'm doing is this marble background. So that's gonna be a while. Alrighty, my next one. This is probably another one of my bigger WIPs. In fact, it's possible. I don't remember what the dimensions are. It's possible that this could be my biggest WIP. I don't know that it's necessarily considered full coverage in terms of, like, you think of full coverage fanatics. In order to be able to post on their site, it's got to be at least 95% stitched. Given the shape of things, I don't know that this is necessarily that considered of full coverage, but I'm listing it in my list of WIPs as being a full coverage. This is called Magic Book. I got it on a Etsy site called Tiny Cross Stitches, which is funny that it's called Tiny Cross Stitches because it's not tiny, but it's really cool. But as you can see, like, it's not a squared out, rounded, you know, square rectangle picture. There's a lot of portion here that's not stitched. And because of that, I started top center. And as you can see, this is a big piece of material. I found this piece, this project, you know, the pattern, looking for a design, I want to say for Court of Thorns and Roses. And so it's not specifically to that by any means, but it's definitely a fantasy style. 310. That is all 310. And it looks really good because looking at it, you know, in person, you can definitely see a lot of white through the stitches. I'm not concerned with that. Especially when I hold it up like this, it looks like solid black. This is at 1.23%. I should have kept track of how many skeins of black I would need, because I'm pretty sure this is more than one skein. Not a priority stitch by any means, but and I don't plan on stitching this extreme cross country to get all of black in. I don't remember how many black stitches there were. I know I looked at some point. But I can't wait to get into some color. And I want to say, last time I looked at the pattern, there's going to be some fun colors coming in, not too far. I don't think I have to go very far to start getting into some of the color. So that spire is going to be like right in here. So I don't have too far to get into some of these blues. But it's definitely a lot of black. So that's my Magic Book. Couple more. This is from Stitches So Beautiful. Did I make a note of the artwork? Ivy Cottage House. This is stained Black Cat stained glass number 3. It's my stitches. I'm in this upper corner right here. And so I've got a lot of this dark color here with all of the really pretty oranges showing up here. The hilarious tidbit about this piece is that it looks like there's a lot of black in that because, hello, Black Cat. There is not a single stitch of 310 in this entire piece. 310 is not on the color list, so there is not a drop of black in this. There's a ton of 939, probably 823, but not a single stitch of black. I thought that was funny. This one is currently at 2.02%. We're not going to unroll this because it's getting late in the evening anyways. I want to say I crossed into page 2, and it was just an easy path to follow with that one line of black, not at black like I just said. Probably 939. But that whole corner is fully stitched. There's nothing missing out of there. So you get that whole orange corner of the stained glass. So, which I love that. So that's going to be fun to get to stitch. I am down into whatever page is below page 1. Trying to stagger some of that a little bit. I don't want to get solid line markings from page sections. So yes, that is my Black Cat stain class number 3. Last project, guys. Folks. This project, the second I saw it, I wanted to stitch it. I saw the measurements and I said, no way am I stitching something that large. I did some math, you know, put the numbers into my fabric calculator. I can't even buy a piece of Aida that is wide enough to stitch the original release with any kind of margin. It would literally be as wide as that fabric, how I can get the fabric. No, I would have had to gone to a size 18 count just to get a piece of material big enough for it. Jessie Marie has this project on the go, and she commented somewhere, probably on a video that I was talking about it. Her material, 25 count, is bigger than her toddler's bed sheet. I don't need to stitch something that big because what am I gonna do with it when it's done? I can't wait to see hers stitched. I know it's gonna be many, many, many years down the road. Because of the corner that she's in, she immediately jumped into foliage. And I know other people are stitching it. She's the first name that comes into mind because this definitely became a popular stitch as soon as it was released. I love the foliage that you can see right in that corner. So mine's the mini version. As soon as they released the mini, I mean, it went right on my wish list, and next time they had a sale and I had the ability to buy the material, I got it in hand. I started stitching it the day that my material got dropped off from Amazon. Mini Haunted House, artwork by Donna Gelsinger. So this is my second Donna Gelsinger, right? Second that I've started, I know I've got at least one other one of hers in my stash. So I'm still just up in this upper corner. I am only 2.49% done. But like on Jessie Marie's or anybody doing the regular, you start getting that orange foliage and such right off the bat. And it actually looks like a leaf on the regular version. I've seen posted that mini Hades tend to lose about 30% of the detail from the original version. There's some artwork out there I will not do a mini because it would just be blobs. Amy Stewart's shelves, like any of the stitching shelves, the like bookshelves, there's so much packed into those. They're beautiful. But to go mini, I think it just would look too pixelated. So something busy like that, just mini, I don't think would work. But I got to looking at Randall Spangler has houses. And so I figured, I don't think that there's going to be enough detail loss on this to make an issue. I can tell looking at the mock-up of the regular versus the mini, like the witch doesn't look as clear on this version versus the original, but the areas of difference I'm not mad at. And I'm not stitching something so large that I can't get a piece of material for it. It's still on the Q-snap. I do plan to get back to this at some point, but who knows if that'll happen anytime soon. So here we are. So again, I got into that orange, but I want to say it's like this orange right here. The leaf on the regular size looks like an actual leaf. Looks like I have a little bit of focus ADD at the moment, but because of Pattern Keeper, and I talked about I'll pick a symbol and run as far as I can go. That's why I've got down in here. You know, if I've got a color on my needle, I'm not going to count all the way down into here. But if it's a matter of my needle can take me, you know, from here down here, you know, I'll do things of that nature. So when I get to something like this, I like to pick a symbol and fill in as far as I can go. I kind of go back and forth. Sometimes I'll stitch as much as I, in the area that I'm working on. Other times I may focus in just a small area and do what I can right there rather than bouncing all over. So I kind of go back and forth. Bottom line I can say is that I do not stick in a 10 by 10 page breaks, anything like that anymore. I go where I can. And my favorite Q snaps for stitching full coverage are 11 by 11s. Handle wise, I've got a like a TV tray that I pull up to my couch, and I kind of use that as a stand. So I can prop this easily against that stand, and I've been learning to stitch two-handed, and so that's helped speed me up a little bit. Well, maybe one of these days I'll get like a Lowry stand or something, but for now, I'm making that work. Folks, that is all of the WIPs that I have to share today. Hour and 35 minutes. I've enjoyed being able to talk about the pieces a little bit and kind of where I got the idea from or when I've worked on it and all of that kind of stuff. So I do have a little bit of haul that's come in since the last video, so got a little bit to share. Keep stitching away. We'll make this quick though. I got an envelope in the mail today. I thought I was just getting a return Christmas card, but it ended up having some goodies in it. So I am a Patreon member of Deanna at Darling and Whimsy Designs. So I got this card. So cute. Oof. I didn't think, because I haven't been a member of her page all that long, and so I didn't think that I'd get any of her goodies. Maybe she had some extras or something. So I got a cottage garden thread. So I haven't figured out if I can use this for, because in here there might be a quirky Quaker pattern gift chart. I'm not going to show it because I don't have a full thing. So I don't know that it's necessarily, because it seems like she's released some quirky Quakers where there's like 2 different colors that can be used for that. So I don't think that this actually goes with this. Maybe it's one of her recent releases. I don't know. But thank you to Deanna for that. And there was a couple stickers in here. So we got a cute little Santa pup. And one of her snow folk. That was a recent release. And the cardinal. I love those stickers. Thank you so much to Deanna. No clue if Deanna watches my videos. Thank you. That was such an amazing stitching surprise. I had no clue that that was coming. Recently, Michelle Bendy had a charity sale, D-Stash, to benefit a surgery event that her boss goes to the maybe Dominican Republic, something like that. So I picked up a couple of things. I ended up getting Sophia Church La Di Da, and then I got two book sleeves. So small, so pomegranates, and then Alice. So thanks to Michelle for hosting that sale. And then brand new to me, I know these have been out for a little bit. I actually just got this today from my BFF Crystal. We got Emma Congdon's Cross Stitch with Catitude. I was flipping through this earlier, and oh, there's so many in here I want to stitch. We're not going to do a flip through today, but remember. Yeah. This one is definitely stitches, and I think I'd have to recolor it to do it in black. You work, and I watch and judge. I love it. So huge thank you to Crystal for that. We'll have to pick something out of that soon and start. And then somebody in my family yesterday gave me Creepy Cross Stitch from Lindsay Swearingen? I don't know how to pronounce that. This has been on Amazon for quite some time, so everyone's, I'm sure has seen it. 25 Spooky Projects. There was the name. I was flipping through this earlier, and there are absolutely so many projects I want to do. I love this one right here. Cat with a couple ghosts. So many goodness in that. Okay, that's it. Hour and 40 minutes. This is absolutely the longest video that I have had in quite some time. I can't believe that my phone hasn't stopped on me for not having enough space. Fingers crossed it gets posted easily enough. Not gonna happen tonight though, probably. I'm ready to go chill out on the couch. It's after 11 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, it's after 11 o'clock. So we're going to say goodnight. I hope you got so much stitching in. Would love to know what you worked on if you care to share. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you stuck through the whole thing, I hope you enjoyed what you see. I've got lots of good projects, in my opinion anyways. I mean, there's stuff that I want to stitch on. I know that there's been a lot of people, you know, kind of doing these projects and thinking of, you know, do they stitch it or ditch it? You know, is it something that they're ready to UFO? There's a couple projects that aren't very high priority at all, but there's definitely some older projects here that I really want to see get finished very soon. Well, maybe not very soon, but, you know, stuff that I really want to see focused, you know, getting finished. Definitely looking forward to being able to maybe focus on a finish of another Haid next year. So we'll see. Anyways, I hope everyone is enjoying the holidays. I hope you're finding, you know, finding some way to relax during this very crazy time this year. I'm actually thinking of going to play pinball on New Year's Eve. The last few years I've sat and stitched the New Year away. I don't think I'm actually going to do that this year. I'm kind of leaning towards going and hanging out with pinball. We'll see. As all I know that I'm still on vacation until after the first of the year, and so I'm enjoying it. And I can finally sit back and relax now that the holidays are done and get some stitching time in. So I definitely did not get a whole lot of stitching in while, you know, holiday festivities. I was over at my sister's for a few days. But yeah, it's time to stitch. So hope you're doing well. Hope you're getting some kind of stitching in. Hope you're, you know, good times with friends, family. If this is a struggle time for you, I see you. My heart goes out to you. And, you know, one day at a time, sometimes one step at a time. So stitch on something that brings you joy, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.